all right, for those of you who probably saw, I put out a video on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of them a couple days ago. And what the play was, it was me talking. And I was talking about when a receiver goes up to potentially catch the ball out of bounds, but he's airborne, and he left inbounds, he's in the end zone, he throws the ball to his, or whatever, something to his buddy, who then now has the ball, and now do we have touchdown? Back judge goes up touchdown. Line judge goes incomplete with a flag. What do we do? I mean, this thing got a lot of traction. Hundreds of comments on it. And it's just interesting on people's take on this. So I wanted to, this is a very important thing. This is what we do here. I want to break it down. I want to break down the rule. So the first thing we're going to go through is we have to know our definitions. Definitions is what sets the table, what sets the foundation when it comes to all this stuff. So let's go through our important definitions for this discussion. Let's talk about batting. Batting is intentionally slapping or striking the ball with an arm or a hand. That's batting, right out of the book. Here's what a catch is. Act of establishing player possession of a live ball which is in flight and first contacting the ground inbounds while maintaining possession. There's some other words. Contacting, possession, establishing. We have to remember those as we move forward into our other definitions because they're going to build on one another. That's why this is important. All right. Passing. What's passing the ball? It's throwing a ball that is in player possession. Remember, we just defined something, and the ball travels in flight. Now, here's possession. This is the definition of possession. A live ball held or controlled by a player after it has been handled or snapped to him or after he has caught or recovered it. Why do I say caught or recovered it? Because there's a definition of a catch. So a definition of a catch, now going back, you see what that says, maintaining possession, first contacting the ground inbounds, and now possession. Sometimes I kind of go back and forth a little bit with some words, but we can establish what we're looking at. And our final one is a muff. What's a muff? Touching of a loose ball by a player in unsuccessful attempt to secure possession. I want to know right here what that is. Don't worry about feet right now. We're going to talk about this later. I want to know what that is right there. What is that? And why do you think that? What is it? What is that action right there? What are we calling that? Where is it? How is it defined? We're going to pretend this player was inbounds the whole time and he jumps up. This is exactly almost like the play I talked about. All right. What is that? How are we defining this? Bill, what is this? What is it, Bill?
Well, first of all, the player who jumped from inbounds, he has legally touched the pass. He has not controlled, he has not possessed it because he has not come down with it yet and been inbounds. So him flipping the ball to his teammate, I would put that by what you put up on the screen as a muff. He's muffed the ball to that teammate.
All right. So Bill's got a muff. All right. Excellent. All right, Mike, what do you have?
Because of the intentionality of it, I have it as a bat. I know it's not a slap or a strike, and I know what Bill's opinion is on what batting is. But it's totally legal to bat a forward pass in any direction. The ball is still a forward pass after he makes contact with it and redirects it. So this is not changing the status of the ball, still a forward pass.
Now it's Amanda's turn. Amanda, what do you have? What do you think this is?
I was thinking it was a bat. I like what you said about the intentionality of that. It reminds me of a basketball play trying to recover the ball before it goes out of bounds. But I do feel as if his actions were intentional.
Okay.
He does not possess the ball. I agree with Bill on that because he hasn't completed the process.
Let's go back. Let's go back to the definition. So batting, intentionally slapping or striking the ball with arm or hand. All right. So did he intentionally slap it? It wasn't a slap. It wasn't a strike. Trust me. I looked both of those words up in Webster's dictionary, and that didn't really apply. But did he catch it? Act of establishing player possession of a live ball, which is in flight, first contact to the ground inbounds while maintaining possession. No, did not do that because he was airborne. Even if he had the ball, they were airborne. Okay, so now what's the next one here? Passing, throwing the ball that is in player possession and the ball travels in flight. Okay, so the ball did that, but did he have possession of it? No, because he never caught it. It says right there, possession after he has caught or recovered it. Okay, so he never caught it. So you can't have a pass here. You can't have another pass because that player can't pass the ball until he catches it, and he did not catch it. So we don't have possibly that. So whatever our last one was muff. Touching of a loose ball by a player in an unsuccessful attempt to secure possession. And that's where Bill went. Now here's the thing is that, was he attempting to secure possession of the ball? No, because if he was attempting to secure possession of the ball, then he would have done that. He would not have intentionally done something else with it if he wanted to possess it. So I don't think it can be a muff either. So now you're like, all right, Tim, what the heck? What are we doing here? This one is not covered. This play is not specifically covered by rule because of the whole batting thing. But I did a lot of research on this, and the accepted interpretation, it's not you got to find it in manuals and stuff. And I was trying to find the references and everything like that. But the accepted interpretation of this is that if you intentionally direct the ball in a different direction, you've intentionally done that. Now, we're not talking about force, okay? A lot of people are like, Tim, why didn't you talk about force here? That doesn't really apply. Now, in high school or in college, it would be impetus. It doesn't really apply to this, okay? So don't be thinking that. But going back to where did you intentionally push that ball? And the only thing that says intentional, the only one that's got intentional in it is intentionally slapping or striking the ball with an arm or hand. It can be a bat. That's the only thing that really it can be, a bat. Because, I mean, I obviously, and I'll let Bill talk, but I don't think Muff qualifies here because of that. So, Bill, since Amanda and Mike kind of went with the bat, I'll let you talk. I mean, are you still good with a muff?
Hey, here's what I'm good with is that this is a totally legal play.
Okay.
And I don't care if you call it a bat or a muff, so that part of it there. The thing I want people to, and you've heard me say this 1,000 times, Tim, be careful with your wording. Don't say he caught it. Okay.
Exactly.
Don't say he caught it. He didn't catch. And he may have controlled it, but he didn't possess it. The key thing is there was no possession.
He didn't own it, right, Bill? He didn't own
Right.
it. He just borrowed it.
Borrowed it.
Exactly. Exactly. Bill is absolutely 100% correct. This is legal. There are times where this might not be legal, but this one is legal. So if you understand the definitions and you understand how you get to this point and you're able to get there that way, you're going to make the right decision, the right call more times than you're not, because you've got the rule knowledge to back you up and be able to make an interpretation like that. So that's why we do this. That's why it's important to go through those definitions, because they do matter. Words do matter, as I've been told before, especially when it comes to how we would apply it to something like this, which isn't specifically covered verbatim in the rule.